Haley, first, thank you so much for speaking with me. And, I got to tell you something. I love stories like yours because, as you know, last 2, 3 years, the world has just been in a crapper. So many things going on. And somehow you have been able to resonate through your music and achieve so many great things. You are the kind of person who shows that faith and hard work, no matter how bad the situation is, you can shine through it. Congratulations with that.
Rudy, you're gonna make me cry already. That is so sweet and so kind of you to say it. I very much appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Well, it's absolutely true. Look, I'm going to sort of jump around a little bit, but because
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away, but I want to stay in this couple of years vicinity. When
Okay.
the pandemic hit, what were your thoughts going on? Because, of course, a lot of artists were either getting ready to tour, they were already, making music, wanted to release things, and then the world changed, and we weren't sure how we were going to do things. We weren't sure if we can be near people. Getting into the studio is a whole different thing. We had to be creative, where now I think a lot of people have their closets as their sound booth.
Mhm.
Just doing this interview alone, Zoom. Who ever heard of
Yeah.
Zoom? What was going on when this first started, and how did you sort of evolve through this to be able to achieve what you have?
Man, so I had just put out my record, The Dream. I was in the middle of touring with Jordan Davis. I played my first headlining show in Nashville. 2 days later, the world shut down. I was supposed to play my first ever late night show on the Sunday. I think the world shut down on Friday. I was supposed to be on my first national television debut on Sunday. 2 days later, I was a totally independent artist. I felt like I'd just kind of gotten my break. I was starting to move. I was rolling, rocking and rolling, and the world shut down. And it was just like, oh, you know what I mean? It just felt like a total blow. Um, Dagger to the heart a little bit, but Nashville kind of prepared me for perseverance. And so,
And I want to jump in there because I want to add this in because I've talked to folks who have lived in Nashville, and I want people to really understand this because here we all were worried and scared about a pandemic. You guys had tornadoes coming at you too.
yeah, yeah, actually, we had so I was on the West Coast. I was touring with Jordan Davis when the tornado hit. So, but the venue that I was supposed to play for that headlining show that I was telling you about, my first headlining show got demolished by the tornado. So, I'm on the West Coast. I'm calling home. What's going on? Is everyone okay? They're telling me, we're fine. The basement is totally destroyed. We're going to have to relocate your show, all this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really, really rough couple of months for everyone.
So, what did you do? What changed? How did you organize things with your management, music, and releases and things like that? And if you had anything that still needed to be recorded or changed up, how did you do that?
Well, I had just put out the record, so the record was out, and I was expecting to spend the whole year touring behind it, and that obviously went away. So, my producer and I got creative. He was like, "Look, I've heard you say in multiple interviews, you feel like you're living the dream. Your life has changed so much since this record started on 10 Year Town. What if we went back into the studio and asked some of the people who've had a big influence on why your life has changed? What if we ask them to collaborate and maybe we'll put out another EP or whatever, and we can just kind of extend that listening experience and really show fans like what that means and what that's meant to you and to your life and your music?" And so we actually went back into the studio when it was safe to do so. We got back in the studio, everyone had masks on, and we recorded 5 new songs, which became the deluxe. And we asked several artists who have had a huge hand in me being able to, quit waitressing and actually make music full time. We asked them to come collaborate. And then we dropped that project, I think like January, or I can't, maybe January 2021. I can't remember exactly. But man, if I didn't have that project to keep me sane during that time, I probably would have lost it,
Wow.
So to have that to focus on, to be able to go back, focus on music, focus on what I love, to get excited, to get inspired. I think if I didn't have that, I would have been in a very dark place that year.
Okay, well, that dark place did not happen. It shone right through because two very special award honors came by your way. What were the two?
That year in
Yeah.
2021,
Yeah.
man, I mean, was it having Trisha Yearwood on my song?
No, no, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking
That
about
was a
what.
big one.
No, I was thinking about CMT.
CMT being nominated for a CMT award. Yeah, that was, let's see, that was 2021
Yes.
that I was nominated for an award last year. Yeah, I mean, that is huge. I grew up going to the CMT awards. You know, before I even lived in Nashville, I was making the trip down with my mom when I was in high school. She'd bring me down, and that would kind of be our fun trip getaway, you know. And I just remember dreaming about getting to do that someday. And so to get to be nominated and to get to, you know, be a part of the show, that was so huge. And it was very exciting.
What was going on with the Grammys?
The Grammys. Okay. So that now that is, yeah, I guess that was last fall, 2021. All these years are running together.
No, and I completely understand. It's like a blur that's been happening.
Yeah, I mean the Grammys is just one of those things that I don't really think it's even sunk in yet. You know what I mean? It still feels very surreal and I'm just so honored to have gotten to be a part of that song. I know it's just like those women are all women I look up to so much and you know, I'm just very honored to have gotten to be a small part of that song. I mean, it's gone on to be so big and so meaningful on so many different levels and then to go to the Grammys, to get to go and be nominated. I mean, I have butterflies. It's just like, I'm so anxious and excited, and I'm very honored to be a part of that song.
I've been lucky enough to cover the Grammys 3 times, and I've been
What?
backstage, so I understand the excitement and everything. I am envious
Yes.
of you. One of these days, I'm planning on going back and do it all again too. You know, I kind of jumped over because I wanted to get to that part. Trisha Yearwood, what was that like?
Yeah. Man, so I have been a Trisha Yearwood fan since I was probably 10 years old. You know, She's in Love with the Boy had come out. It was a giant song. I used to make my cousins go out in the front yard. We'd all have a hairbrush microphone, choreographing dances to that song. I was just so influenced by her. And you know, we had the deluxe. We were trying to figure out collaborators, and someone was like, "Who would you want on that song?" I was like, "I mean, in a dream world, Trisha." And just told, I didn't know her, she didn't know me. So someone at the label, I guess, had a relationship with her and sent her the song. And it was kind of like one of those, yeah, right, whatever. She's probably going to say no, but there's no harm in asking. Let's just ask. And I got the call that she was willing to do it. And I remember I was in my kitchen. I put it on speakerphone. My producer's in the room with me. We're screaming up and down, jumping. I called everyone I knew after that phone call and was like, "You are never going to believe who's singing on a song of mine." And I remember the first time I heard her mix of it. See, that was another COVID thing. So we couldn't be together when she recorded it. And I was actually back home in Iowa when I got her version, her vocal. And I was driving my old truck, you know, driving those back roads that I used to drive as a high school kid growing up, hearing her music on my radio. And um, so to be on those same roads in that town, it was kind of like this weird full circle thing where I got to really have a moment and let it sink in that, you know, that 17-year-old girl who left this place to chase country music, she actually is doing it, you know, and it was just like a crazy feeling. I mean, it was so special to me.
Well, that special feeling still comes around the block because we're talking new album here. Congratulations for. I always like to say to make it official. What is the new album called, and how does it represent your career today?
The new album is called Raised, and this record, you know, it feels a little bit like a prequel to The Dream in a way. I think that you know, I had to make The Dream because it was where I was at. It was my Nashville story. It took making The Dream for me to get the town to take me seriously, to get a platform so that I could continue putting out music. And now that I have that the ear of the town and of the fans. I'm just very excited for them to get to hear this record, because I feel like if the dream is that brokenhearted waitress, the girl who left the small town, everything she'd ever known, to go try and chase this dream of being in country music, hung on for 12 years, long after she'd been, kind of given up on by everyone. I think that Raised gets to show people who that girl is, why she was that way, why she persevered, why she never gave up, why she worked hard. It really celebrates not only the place but the people who encouraged me, who've always supported me, and I really just think it's kind of a celebration of small towns all over. I mean, I feel very proud to have come from a small town and the place that I did. And so, I just hope to kind of shine a little light on that. And I hope no matter where listeners are from, there's something on this record that resonates with them and makes them, smile or laugh or be able to look back on their childhood and how they grew up, and hopefully, think on it fondly and be reminded of home.
This album has an old school feel. I wrote down two things because I wanted to make sure I remembered it. The sound, your voice, and the music reminds me of Barbara Mandrell.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
and the song, my favorite song is College Town,
Yeah.
because it sounds like a John Mellencamp kind of story that he would tell. Did you get? I know you just kind of explained that, but were there old school influences in this album? Because I felt a lot of it, not just vocally and story wise, but instrument wise also.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, this record is very production wise. A lot of the influences I grew up on, kind of that Heartland rock thing that
Yeah,
you talked about with John Mellencamp, early Alan Jackson.
yeah,
I remember being in like high school, driving my truck around, and I think I'd stolen a box set of Mellencamp from my parents or something. I had no idea who he really was, or how big he was, but those songs resonated with me. And in hindsight, I can see, because it sounded like he was singing about my town, where I grew up. And so I think production wise, we really just tried to go to those places, to those influences that inspired me when I was young, all of those things that made me really love country music: fiddle, steel guitar, banjo, all of those sounds. We really wanted to bring to this record.
I know we're gonna have to wrap this up. One last question though: are we gonna get you here in Ontario? Any chance maybe Boots and Hearts or something like that? What are the chances?
We are overdue. So
Yes.
I really hope so. I mean, I think I was asking Brienne this actually. Maybe Brienne can weigh in here. I thought I was on Boots and Hearts this year, but I didn't see my name on the lineup. I don't know if I got kicked off it or what, but I'm telling you what, I cannot wait to get back up there. I really, really want. I haven't gotten to play the dream for those fans. Not only that, but this new record. I mean, we are overdue for some Canada dates.
Damn Skippy on that one. Look, thank you so
Damn
much for this
Skippy.
interview. Incredible story. The story still continues. Looking forward to seeing you at Boots and Hearts. Yes, I'm going to say it, and hopefully we can get you there. And either way, just thank you so much for the great music, because it's been a tough time, and we need songs like yours to get us through. Thank you again.
I just want to bring you with me everywhere, because you just
Ah.
make me feel so good. And I appreciate you saying all those kind things. Thank you so much for chatting with me.